I'm sorry it's been a while, guys. I'm still trying to get over all the emotional devastation Resident Evil Village has caused. You know what I'm talking about. It's bad enough that the series went the way that it did after the 90s. Now Beavis and Butthead here want to take the game and boldly go where no Resident Evil has gone before, straight into the dark fantasy realm. Now we've got vampires and wolfmen and God knows what else. Probably have some viral infected dragon or parasite infected unicorn. Wouldn't surprise me. If you haven't seen what they're doing with Resident Evil Village, I suggest go take a look. See, I'm not going to be posting any of that garbage on my channel. How selfish and arrogant do you have to be to come in and just take over something so great, try and make it your own, thinking that you can do it better, implement all these over the top nonsensical elements? Resident Evil was successful in itself without all that stuff. After the 90s, they took something that was realistic and believable and just started implementing a bunch of unrealistic, unbelievable, inappropriate nonsense. Now we have a bunch of Matrix style fighting, acrobatic super spies, viruses giving people superpowers, cloning, a bunch of Hollywood style action, a whole bunch of stuff that has no place in Resident Evil. And all the main characters dramatically changed from realistic and believable for the most part. And I know the series isn't called Raccoon City, it's not called Stars, it's not called Umbrella. No matter what it's called, Resident Evil as a whole consisted of certain elements that made the storyline what it was. All of those elements are gone. And when you start implementing things from the movie series, the Anderson movies, into the games, that's a red flag right there in itself. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Moving wall lasers. Anyway, sorry for complaining so much, guys. I'm just hurt. I feel like every title that they release, we're just getting crapped on. All these modern generations of gamers, this is what they're gonna know. This is how they're gonna know Resident Evil. All these ridiculous, over the top games. And I know I'm no one in this community, but I'm someone who won't be playing Resident Evil Village and will not be supporting Capcom's decision to keep going in that direction. So far away from what it used to mean. They've distorted and perverted Resident Evil beyond recognition. Just because it's a Resident Evil title put out by Capcom, do we have to like it? No, we don't have to approve of it at all. If they're doing something wrong, I feel like they should know about it. I mean, I'm sure eventually the game will speak for itself if it doesn't do well, especially with the old school loyal fans. But speaking of old school, I mean, think back to when you started playing the game back in the 90s. What did it mean to you? The very first game, and then the second game, and then the third game. After that is for a different discussion. What captivated you about them? What do you remember your fondest memories of playing these games? For me, being a young child helped a lot. I was able to see past all the corniness and cheesiness of the dialogue and just enjoy the game. For some reason, I can't explain it, but out of everything that I was into back then as a child, and there was a lot, mostly having to do with sci-fi and horror stuff, but everything that I was into, this game captivated me the most. It left a huge impression on me that has never left. I don't know what it was about it. It's something about it became like a alternate reality for me, like a second life kind of. Not to sound weird or anything, but I mean that's how it was. Despite cheesy graphics and corny dialogue, there was something enchantingly realistic about it. This emotionally connectable reality and believability. Nothing about it was over the top for me. Nothing about it was too much. With me being a hardcore introvert, a sense of solitude in beautiful places is something that I crave. And that's something that Resident Evil offered. And not to mention my fondest memories of childhood come from playing this game. The funnest times I had with friends, with cousins, with any family really. Newcomers joining the group and watching them play for the first time. is the best. But if you're a hardcore old school fan of the old Resident Evil games, I don't know, I kind of feel like we're a dying breed. I'd like to hear from you and hear what you think. What was it about this game that captivated you? We can't let that die, guys. It's up to us to keep it alive. Don't let Resident Evil become a shadow of its former self, because I honestly feel like it already has. But there's still some life from the old games. '90s Resident Evil. Keep it alive. Keep it real. Thanks for watching.